It's time to talk about wheels for Jazzy Jeff. So the wheels that came on this Jazz SI are these diamond cut 16-inch wheels. They're 16 by 6, so quite a narrow wheel, but that's okay because the tyres are only 185 profile. You can put a 195 on these as well, but they're pretty narrow. I do like the look of diamond cut wheels, but I don't like living with them. As soon as any lacquer peel starts to occur, water just gets in underneath it and they get destroyed within a few months. These are in pretty good condition, but they're starting to peel in a couple of areas, and I just don't want to have to worry about that all the time. So I've decided to see if I can get wheels that are a little bit wider, so I can fit a wider tyre, but also that are just plain silver. Used prices for decent aftermarket alloys like from Japan or Germany have just gone absolutely crazy. So another option is that you could go and get a rotor or something like that. I have no issue with that, but I do also like to look at used prices for OEM wheels because there are bargains to be found out there. So this is what I have come up with. These are from a Mini Cooper S, the R53 generation. They are 16 inches well, but they're 16 by 6.5, so slightly wider. Some of them are in pretty good condition, not much in the way of scratches. Some of them are not. Some pretty extensive curbing on this, and even a little chunk missing there, although I don't think it's losing any air. This one again is not great. So when I went to pick up these this morning, I had a look at them and I really wasn't happy with the condition. I could see from the photos online that there was a couple of little nicks on it, but the photos were really low kind of quality, so it was hard to make it out until I saw it myself, and they're far worse than I expected them to be. So I was actually going to walk away from the sale, but he offered to sell them to me at a cheaper price, so I couldn't leave them there, to be honest. The question now is, how far do I go with these? Obviously I'm going to trial fit them on now, make sure there's no issues. But either I could do this as a DIY job. I've tried DIY spray jobs before and they didn't come out great, to be honest. Or I can get them powder coated. The problem with that is they'll end up costing as much as getting brand new kind of rotor wheels or something like that. End up being, 150, 200 euro per wheel to get them powder coated professionally. So I'm not sure I want to go that far. First step anyway, I will try them on the car and make sure there's no fitment issues. And just like that, they're on. And here's what they look like. I've only put the front on for the moment. So as I mentioned, these are half an inch wider than the stock wheels. They're also slightly different offset. These ones are an offset of 48, where these are 53. What all that amounts to is that the wheel will be about 11 mil further out into the fender well, giving a more kind of flush fitment, and you would think 11 mil is not a lot, but here is a visual representation of what that means. So this is the stock wheel. If you pay attention to the closeness to that rear of the arch and how the wheels are sunken in a bit, and you see here they are flush with the arch here. Pretty perfect fitment. So there's a couple of other things you need to know about these wheels. The center bore of these is 56.1 millimeters, which is the exact same as Honda, so you don't need to run spigot rings on them. The offsets are well within the range. They don't clash with the suspension, the brakes, anything like that, so there's not going to be any issue there. These mini wheels are one of the lightest 16-inch OEM mini wheels you can get. There's about 10 different designs, and these are one of the lightest ones. However, they are a little bit wider, and also, Honda stuff tends to be lightweight. So it'll be interesting to see what the weight difference is. I don't know the weight of the OEM wheels. Tires also make a massive difference, so this isn't really a precise measurement, but I might as well weigh both and see what they're like. Okay, so this is the OEM Honda wheel on a 185 tire. It's coming in at 16.5 kilos. And this is the Mini OEM wheel. This one is a 195 winter tire. $18.3. So that's 1.8 kilos more heavy. Now what I want to do is also test the other tire, which is a summer tire, and see is there much difference. Okay, this is the Mini on the summer tire. This one is Pirelli. Let's see how she goes. 18.6. It's even heavier, so 2.1 kilos more than Honda. There is one other technical thing I want to explain if you're thinking about changing your wheels, which is that Honda uses something called a domed wheel nut, which is the pattern of this where it contacts the wheels. The wheels have a similar kind of cut in them, so that these fit on perfectly. But a lot of other manufacturers and pretty much every aftermarket manufacturer uses what's called a conical shape on the end of their nuts. These Minis are conical, so if you tried to use the domed type, it would not make a very good contact, and it's not safe really to use this type. So I will have to get new wheel nuts if I want to run these wheels. So there's some pros and cons here. Big con is that they are heavier. Generally speaking, I would imagine they're going to be about 2 kilos heavier per corner of unsprung weight. So will you feel it? I'm not sure. The benefit is that you're going to be able to run a wider tire. I could run 195s on the OEM ones as well, but they'll probably fit better on these slightly wider wheels. The other big benefit is that just the fitment is just a bit more flush and looks nicer. And the last benefit is that I don't have to deal with that diamond cut messing and worry about the lacquer peeling off. After I do refurb these either myself or with a powder coat, they're going to be a lot more durable. Having said that, I'm not convinced on the look. I think these wheels do suit a Mini, but do they suit this Honda Jazz? I'm not sure. Also, when you're going with this type of fitment, which is flush out to the arches, it tends to look better when your car is lowered, but when it's not, it can make it look like it's even higher up than before. When the wheels are sunken into the arches, you don't notice so much that it's kind of riding high. So this is where I need your help. Bearing in mind, I am not going to lower this car. I've been through that already. I'm not doing it again. Would you keep these wheels, refurb them, do them up, leave them, get new tires, spend all that money? Or do you think I should just stick with these OEM wheels? What do you think?
So high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you.
Sloan.
I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.